Hi there, Dan Cooper here from Pro Tools Expert, here with a show and tell of 6 plugins by Audio Assault. This is their full bundle of plugins consisting the Grind Machine, which is a high-gain metal-style guitar amp, Bass Grinder, similar to the Grind Machine but for bass, Head Crusher, an analog-style Saturator, Multi-Transient, which it does pretty much what it says on the tin, XCTR, which is a multi-band harmonic exciter, and the FreaQ, which I'm loving the way it's named, by the way, which is an analog-style EQ. Now, for this show and tell, I was going to go through each one of the plugins and show you what it does on different instruments, but instead, what I'm going to do is work a 5-minute mix with using just these plugins and kind of talk you through what I'm doing, so you can kind of hear what's going on and what I choose is good for different parts of the mix. So, as you can see, I've got overhead, kick, snare, 3 toms, which are bust. I've got a bass DI, 2 electric guitars, and a stereo acoustic guitar, which is also bust there. So if I hit play, you can hear what's going on. Okay, so you get a good idea what's going on there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight in on the drum kit and see what's going on with the kick and the overheads. So first thing I'm going to load up is the FreaQ, and I'm just going to solo in on the overheads. Okay, I want to try and get rid of the kick drum a little bit there, so I'm going to use the high pass. Sounds quite nice, that. We've got a low pass as well, if you think it's a little bit too bright. And add a little bit of weight there with the LF. And maybe a little bit of top ends to make up what we took away on the low pass. Okay, so now let's look at the kick drum. I'm going to do the same sort of thing. I'm going to load up the FreaQ EQ, hear what's going on. Alright, it's quite boomy. So I'll pull a bit of bottom end out. Same thing, let's add a little bit of top end, get a bit of click back in. Right, let's get the snare in. Sounds quite nice, but it sounds a little bit live. So what I'm going to use is the multi-band Transient Designer. It's a little bit different from what you may be used to. I'm just going to run over what it has. So we've got, at the top here, we've got the certain bands that we can affect. So if I just solo the snare on its own, turn them all off by clicking them. Bass, low mids, high mids, treble. That simple. In and out. We've also got the master out, which is this section right here. So again, if I just hit play and move these attack and sustain about, you can hear the beginning of it getting quite heavy. Pull the sustain back. There you go, much more boxier. we can actually hone in on certain parts of the snare. So it's got quite a bit of a ring to it. If I just put this back to factory default. And I want to try and bring that back a little bit. So I'm going to focus in on the low mids, maybe high mids, and with the sustain, and see if I can keep the rest of the snare drum sort of untouched, but just get in on that little bit. But I'm going to do that monitoring with the kick and overheads and see how that sounds. So here we go. Let's pull the sustain back. A bit of attack. Let's try a bit on the main. Bypass it. There's the ring back. Now you might like the ring, you might want to really bring it out. Just going the opposite with the sustain. Now, I like this plugin because normally what I would have done is probably gated it, which I'm not a big fan of gating snare drums. It doesn't always work. Or going straight for an EQ and just trying to find that frequency and pull it out. But sometimes that can affect too much of the sound of the snare drum. This has kind of tucked its way into the middle there and just gently pulled it back. It's sounding really musical, sounding how I wanted it to without affecting too much else. So very good plugin that. I could have used this on the kick drum earlier to bring out a little bit more of the click, which would work quite well. And overall on the drums, which I'm going to try now. So over on the bus, let's load it up. Let's hit play and have a go effects in the whole kit. Just have a listen to what the bottom end's doing. If we use the cutoff, we can hone right in on the bottom there. Low mids. Let's try and wash out the very top bit of sustain. And tighten up that sub. Off. Back in. Okay, let's try push the upper mids a bit sharper on the transient. Let's bypass it. Subtle, but it's there. So this will work quite well with drum loops as well if you just want to try and get in and, you know, sort out the bottom end and the top end and anything in between, really. So let's have a look at the next thing we can try, which is the head crusher. This is the saturation style plugin that they've got here. I'm just literally going to play with it and talk you through what's going on with these drums. So let's hit play, put everything back in, the toms, which I gated earlier. Okay, just going to turn this knob up called drive. Pull the output down a little bit. Bypass. That's adding quite a lot of grit. Can go quite far. Okay, you get an idea of what that does. I'm going to pull it back down again now. So we've got a few controls here. We've got low cut, tone, and high cut. And I'm just going to play them. You can hear what they do. Take the bottom end out a little bit. tone. A little bit darker. Quite brittle. I quite like this button here. It says torture. Let's hit it. Give it some of that. Alright, this looks more interesting. Clean or assassinate? Okay, we can also change down at the bottom here. We can go between British, Vintage, Pristine and Razor. So I'm just going to hit between them. You can hear what's going on. So back to clean. A little bit darker. Quite a lot more darker. Quite airy. Very airy. Cool. What's nice is that you can, if you do find a tone, that's what this is all about, is finding a tone of saturation, is you can just back it off with this mix knob. So all the way to the left is what I had. So what I've chosen, find something in between. Let's go back over here first. Look at that high cut. Low pass. Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's move on. So the next plugin we've got here is the XCTR. This is their multi-band exciter. And again, very similar to the Transient one, which is nice because it's familiar. We've got the bass, low mids, high mids, and treble. We've got mix and drive. These are the main things you want to worry about. We've got input and output. We've got oversample, bypass. Again, I'm just going to play with it, see what you think. Try the top end, bring the mix down. Right, it's looking a bit hot. Let's bring the output down. Bring it out. Try and level match it there. Definitely adds a certain character to it, which is nice. I mean, you can be quite brutal with this if you want to be. Let's just do that. Excellent. Right, same as the other plugins, we can actually hone in on certain parts of the frequencies there. So we can go to bass if we want and choose how much we want to be using on that there. So it's nice, got quite a lot of freedom with where you want to go. Okay, right, so the next plugin, let's move on to the bass grinder. So I'll just play the bass quickly for you here so you get an idea what's going on. It was just a straight DI recording. Okay, right, so this plugin has quite a lot to offer. So again, we've got input, we've got the output volume, we've got high pass, low pass, we've got a gate for if you've got quite a noisy signal or the bits in between when you're not playing. This can kick in. I'm not a fan of gates. I'd rather just go through and either strip silence it or volume automate it. But it's there. It's useful. It's a useful tool. We've got the head and the cab part of it. We've got gain, bass, mid, treble. At the bottom here, I'm just going to play through some of the presets so you get an idea again how this sounds. I'm going to do it with the drums on. Right, for me, I quite like this one, Nitro. There we can change the cab. We can turn the cab off altogether if you feel. Do a bit of high passing. Alright, so let's move on to the next instrument, which is the electric guitar. Again, I think this was just DI'd. Let's find out. Yep, think so. Let's load up the grinder. And as you can see, it looks very familiar to the bass grinder. Input, output, high pass, low pass. We've got a pedal here which can control how much you want to, again, sort of go into the head, which is quite nice. Push the button in. Input down. So this can be quite a little bit crunchy or really savage if you want it to be. Let's put it in the mix. Right, okay, that was just a quick show and tell really of what these plugins are, what they do and how they sound in a mix. Audio Assault have these plugins in a stripped down version, or at least a few of them. The Transient one is a stripped down little 2-knob affair, which is pretty good, and for free as well. So get yourself the demos of these. If you're not sure, get yourselves the authorized free plugins of these. Get using them, because if you find you want more functionality from them, buy them, because they're very affordable. I like to think of these as more sort of impact and energy plugins. You know, they can really bring out certain parts of a mix without too much effort. I mean, I've been playing around with this for about an hour, and yeah, quite impressed, and I think I'm going to be using these quite a lot more in the future. So thanks for watching, and catch you next time. Cheers.